The last entry for the franchise, at least for a little over a decade, arrived on video in 1991. This one actually returns to the expected Killer Santa antagonist in a way, and throws in some killer toys too. This sequel was also brought to us by the same guy who is a writer for Friday the 13th 4 and 5. This is my review of Silent Night Deadly Night 5, The Toy Maker. The movie opens with more of this heterosexual shit. I gotta tell ya, I've never seen a hornier horror franchise before, and I'm still going through the howling. Derek, played by William Thorne, receives a mysterious Christmas gift in the middle of the night. This is intercepted by Tom, played by Van Quattro, who finds out the hard way that it's probably not made by Joffrey the Giraffe. At this point, I think I can summarize the Silent Night franchise as Christmas-flavored parental trauma. So from now on, Sarah, played by Jane Higginson, is a single mother struggling to do what's right for her mute son.
On top of everything else, he won't go into his room now.
Hey, I have an idea. How about getting rid of the toy that was mysteriously present at your husband's death? Also, this is Kim and Lonnie, played again by Neith Hunter and Conan Yuzna. Yes, I am serious. No, I can't give you a valid explanation. Sarah reasons that bribery could get Derek to talk to her again, so they go to a toy store owned by the late Mickey Rooney. I mean, Joe Petto, and his son, Pino, played by Brian Bremer.
Get the hell out! Get out!
Stalker Red Flag number 1 just came into the store. As we'll later find out, this is Noah, played by Tracy Frame. Continuing the theme of parental trauma, Pino offers Derek a toy that he's not keen on, and this encourages Sarah and Derek to leave. So Petto verbally berates his son until he realizes that Noah is there. It seems that one of Noah's hobbies is buying a shit ton of toys from Petto, and taking them apart. He does use one, however, to persuade the manager of the hotel he's staying at, played by the late Jerry Black, to not kick him out. The problem is, it's one of those killer toys that Petto made. Speaking of, Noah breaks into the toy store after dark, and finds evidence that Pino could be a lot older than he looks. Oh, and Petto drinks a lot. Now the question is it because of past trauma weighing heavily on him, or is it because Rooney's realized that he's a main character in the franchise that he's previously condemned? Either way, Pino scares Noah out of the store. The following day, Noah's working as the mall Santa, when conveniently enough, Sarah and Derek happen to arrive. One of the other faux Santas working there happens to be a guy named Ricky, played by Clint Howard. Please, I'm begging you, don't do this to me again. For some reason, it seems to be exceptionally important to Noah that he interact with Derek and Sarah. I never thought I would say this, but the Clint Howard Santa would have handled this in a less creepy way. On the subject of creepy, Pino has broken into Sarah and Derek's house, and is working towards earning a restraining order. Motherfucker doesn't even have the common decency to scurry out of the house when a car pulls into the driveway. It's only because of Kim's looking out that Sarah knows Pino's in the house. Obviously, she confronts Petto about this, and he explains that he used to own her house.
It doesn't give Pino license to break in whenever he feels like it. If it happens again, I will call the police.
Thank God. At least there's some semblance of sanity in this town. All the same, with your husband killed in a freak accident, a creepy guy stalking you, and the son of a toy maker sneaking into your house, it's time to move! Instead, I guess we're just gonna open a present early. Wisely, Derek rejects this idea since it's one of those mysterious presents from a stranger. He even goes to extra lengths to get rid of it. But these extra lengths aren't enough to ensure it won't cause someone else harm. Don't worry, Lonnie cheated death once again and ended up in the hospital. Elsewhere, in the paradise that is Petto's toys, we have another heated argument between father and son, which results in Pino taking a deadly tumble down the stairs. The next day, Noah shows up and tries to talk to Derek, only to be interrupted by the babysitter Meredith, played by Amy L. Taylor. She absolutely refuses to allow Noah in and advises he fuck off. But since Noah asked, she tells him exactly where Sarah works. Meredith, are you sure you don't want to provide him with a current picture? Her credit card information, social security number? Of course, Noah shows up when Sarah is alone in the parking garage and chases her around a bit. The tension is short-lived, as apparently they know each other intimately. With this knowledge in mind, riddle me this. How did Sarah not recognize Noah when he was dressed as Santa Claus? Better yet, why did she run from him here?
I guess I panicked. I couldn't believe it was you.
Yeah, sure. Alright, why not? Fuck it. Yeah, so Derek is Noah's son, and the only reason Sarah married Tom was for security. The career kind, not the home kind. I'm sorry, is this a direct-to-video Christmas slasher or a daytime soap opera? Well, both do have a lot of this. I'm with Derek on this. Oh, now see, is it not a boner killer when Mickey Rooney dressed as Santa shows up? I guess not, but these killer toys certainly are. I guess whatever these things use as ammo is harsher than BB pellets, but less lethal than bullets. Why do I feel like this movie unlocked some odd kinks for certain people? It's only after they're finished screwing their brains out that Noah decides to tell Sarah that Pedo isn't who she thinks he is. Some years ago, Pedo's wife and unborn child died in a car accident, and later he was responsible for the maiming and death of children in Noah's area. Sarah's more inclined to believe this when they return home to find that Buck is dead, Meredith is fucked up, and Derek has been kidnapped. Sarah doesn't hesitate to go to the toy store with Noah not far behind her. Turns out going into the basement isn't a good idea.
Who are you? Pino?
The only way this could be any more unsettling is if Clint Howard played Pino. Actually, I stand corrected. This is not how I pictured the Barbie movie, I gotta tell you. So Pino killed Pedo because he was an abusive alcoholic. He's a glorified Cabbage Patch Kid, and the reason he kidnapped Derek is so he could kill him and take his place.
I love you! I love you! I want you!
Holy fuck, is this wrong?
I didn't sign up for this Oedipus shit. Before Pino can shank Derek, Derek hops on Pino's back and confuses the fuck out of him. This gives Noah enough time to lop one of Pino's arms off Jack Torrance style, and Sarah to chop him in half. After ensuring Pino's head is caved in, the three of them leave. There's no guarantee that Pino is actually dead, of course. Aside from the fact that we didn't get another movie in this franchise for over a decade, and it had nothing to do with him, and with that, the credits roll. Can you guess why the practical effects look pretty good? Yep, it's Screaming Mad George again. When it's revealed what Pino is, it looks convincing enough. Even the digital effects don't look too horrible, even though they are definitely dated. Similarly, the deaths are more creative and interesting here, particularly the ones involving the toys. I'll give the film credit for making a firm return to the Christmas atmosphere that should permeate this franchise. It actually has a lot more to do with the holiday. More than Initiation. The acting isn't really bad here, given that this isn't even a theatrically released film. And the fourth sequel. Props to Bremer for being decidedly unsettling during the climax. The score, composed by Matthew Morse, is pretty decent. It works with some Christmassy elements, even though I likely won't be listening to it on its own. If you're into soap opera style mysteries, you could very well have a good time with this. How many jokes did you come up with involving Joe and Pino Pedo? I mean, come on. The door isn't wide open, it's off the damn hinges. And these characters work in a toy store with kids. Oi, do I think this film has a fleshed out plot and characters? No. Kind of like Better Watch Out and Initiation. Some important things are missing here to make it all work well. They banked a lot on the mild mystery and tension, being enough to keep the viewer's attention for the full duration. Things aren't terribly interesting until the final third of the film. This really did feel more like a soap opera than a horror movie. They could have gone balls to the wall with campiness and killer toys, but instead focused most of their attention on this drama element. I wasn't terribly invested in any of the characters, though I suppose Pino and Noah were the most compelling among the rest. Characters from the previous movie are brought back, but for what? They really didn't do anything or provide anything significant to the plot or other characters. While the kills are creative and rather fun in their own right, there aren't many of them. From a movie that essentially promised toys being the weapons of violence, I would have expected that element to be utilized a lot more. With all that being said, I'm giving Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toy Maker, 3.5 out of 10 bloody thumbs up. Would I add The Toy Maker to my rotation of Christmas horror movies to watch annually? Just like Better Watch Out and Initiation? No. I'm really not impressed with this one for being one of the Silent Night sequels that many others have put higher up in their rankings of the franchise. It's caught somewhere in between not being as entertaining as Part 2, but being less boring than Better Watch Out. At the very least, it does have a memorable third act, with scenes that will definitely stick with me. I would recommend Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toy Maker, to obscure Christmas horror movie seekers, Mickey Rooney fans, people who would like to see more Yuletide seasoning in their Silent Night movies, and anyone who would like to see a character with worse mommy issues than Norman Bates. See you later. If you're looking for more Killer Santas, check out my reviews of the rest of the Silent Night franchise. Thank you to my patrons Michael Musale, Bronson Wright Wolf, Diana Mo, Sean Sheridan, and Raiders AK for supporting the channel.